is 3 POs from the bookstore, from the SFU bookstore. So it's a great competition. It's really a win-win for us and for the students and for the wider campus community. I'm just going to start my slideshow, and bear with me. I'm kind of new to Google.
Google. It's okay. We roll with all of that stuff.
Okay, hang on one sec. But yes, you. It's great in a sense because it really does. I'm just going to open this up now. Not that one. Sorry. All right. So this is sort of my little slideshow. I'll get that going. So this is basically the. Can everyone see this?
No.
Peter, we're seeing the actual slide deck, so you just want to choose the presentation, not the slide deck.
Sorry, one sec.
No problem. We are all learning this together.
I know, and it's okay. I always pride myself as being a very Zoom forward person. Let me just start this over again.
It's almost like you have to have literacy in all of the different.
I know, right?
That's right. So like Teams, you got Zoom.
And I practiced this too. Hang on, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm just going to do this again. Bear with me here. But basically, in a nutshell, this is a competition that runs. There we go. Now I just need to do this, right? Is that showing now?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Basically, this is the
circling for me.
Coast Capital Savings Venture Connection. So they put this out in the competition, and we do this in the end of November. The really great thing about this is we do get a lot of support from the campus-wide community. So SFU News does a feature on it. It's pushed out through a lot of the alumni social media platforms. We've even had a mention in some of the local newspapers, like the Burnaby News and et cetera, to promote this event. It's kind of a win-win because a lot of the faculties get behind their students if they know that they're producing a product or something like that, and they do a lot of push out in that respect. And we get a lot of tags with our social media, so it's a really good publicity. It's a really good sort of a sharing moment with the wider campus community. The event is sort of done like a trade show. So basically the students who are selected set up their wares at a table and you can walk around and look at it. It's done in we do it at the Surrey campus out in the main sort of lobby area, which is open to the public. So it isn't just people judging it. It's also just people walking up and looking and seeing what they have. And it's really good exposure for them. This is the group from 2019. So it's usually about 15 to 20 students or alumni. And an amazing cross-section of products that come out. I'm really always kind of blown away by the quality and by what the selection is available. And again, it's been growing. We've been sort of working out some of the kinks as we work together on this, but it really, it's been a real success story. And I'll share with you 3 of the products. So when we talk about the whole sort of pandemic situation, this last one, we did it online and it was actually done quite successfully. So they just basically had breakout rooms, which I know a lot of trade shows are doing now, where you do the breakout room and you can just go and sit with the vendor and talk to them. Well, they did the same sort of structure for this. And I have to say this last year's was probably one of the best. I have sourced about at least 7 or 8 different products, but the 3 that won my, just to give you an idea of the caliber of the products that are out there, the 3 that won my purchase orders, this one is Paper Main. So this is a student who does an amazing sort of line of gift cards. She's actually been getting out more. She's now, you'll see her at some of the local markets as well. She's got an online presence. Really great card company, kind of young, very pop culture oriented, so very current. So we're going to be adding this to our card selection for sure. It's I was really blown away by the quality of that. This is Kitten Comforts, a really great story. 2 chemistry students who are still in class. I believe they graduate this year, but they basically do this out of their home. And they just said, hey, we're chemistry students. We should know how to make bath bombs and soaps and stuff like that. So they created this whole line of bath products. And what's great about this one is I'm going to be working with them on doing customized, or we can do like departmental gifts, that type of thing with the SFU logo on it. So they're very flexible with that, which I'm very excited about. And then this is Charlie and Paisley, which is a really interesting, they're hair accessories that are done by fabrics, and they're sustainable, and they're local. Again, they actually are available in stores in some places in Vancouver. Just a great company. So again, a really good way to source some new ideas and new products. And as you sort of get better at this, as you get your momentum, you'll find that the quality is amazing. And then this is the final that I just want to share this success story. So Mala Candles she was in about 3 years ago. When she just stood out in this marketplace. She had an incredible presentation, a credible product. Her candles are the cans are like recyclable. She uses wooden wicks instead of string. Anyways, she's gone on now. You can buy her candles at Nordstrom's, and she's got places in the US. She's across Canada. She's been mentioned in the Globe and Mail. So a lot of the students that come out of this actually become very successful, and we've been carrying her products in the store. So that's kind of just in a nutshell of what I have. I think with as far as the varying sizes of stores, I think that you could customize this. You don't necessarily have to be on a large scale. I think you can also just do this on a smaller scale, as far as going to your business faculty, or maybe if you have fine arts courses on your campus, source out some of the artists that are doing things. It's really I think you'll be quite surprised at what's available to you just right in your own community. And again, when we bring it into the store and have it on our shelves, we promote it that way. We push it out on our social media, and I can say that the SFU campus, it's well recognized, and we've had such a great response from the general community. And I think it's built sort of our standing within the SFU community. So I highly recommend that you explore some sort of proportion of this. And I'm happy to take any questions if you guys have on this. Sorry about my technical difficulties there.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions right now on Peter's side of things? We can revisit a couple more aspects as well, but
Sure.
Next we'll have.
Sorry, we just do have one
Okay.
question about that.
Okay.
Sarah asked, are you planning on offering this marketplace online this year, Peter?
Yes, I think it'll happen again. We did do it online this last one. It kind of sort of depends on how things go. It worked really well. Another thing that we are working with Venture Connection on is helping some of these artists have an Etsy presence. So we're going to allow them to have their own site, because some of them, they're very new at this and they don't really know the process, and they gain a lot out of this because I approach it as a buyer. So I ask them questions as if I'm buying, so they kind of get that experience too. So yes, we will be working more online. We'll be featuring that more on our website too, more prominently.
And just one more from Jenny Orpin here. Do you decide on winners, or is it through voting by product line?
There's several categories in it. The 3 POs that I select I do decide that, but there are other prizes. There's the best, like the most popular, and the public can vote as well as the judges. So there are different varying categories, but mine, I'm the one that chooses them. Yeah.
And how many years have we run, or what is the current year that you guys are running this program?
We've been doing it, I think it's been 5 years now, 5 years. Yeah, and like I say, it has evolved really well. I think we've really got our groove with this now. This last one just went really well. Like I said, the caliber, because now that a lot of the students are aware of this, we get more applicants. So a better cross-section of products for sure.
Great. I'm just checking if there's any other questions. I don't see any. So Adam, would you like to share, how did you get started when building relationships on campus, and who are you working with?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me again this year. So I know some of you guys, nice to see some familiar faces from the conference last year. But yeah, happy to be presenting today, and thanks, Peter, for your valuable insight as well. Great presentation there, and has already got me thinking about some opportunities we can use in our store. So yeah, so I've been at the University of Calgary in my role for about just going on 3 years. And kind of what I'm focusing on in my presentation, I'll bring up a PowerPoint shortly here, is just kind of more so the department relationships that we've kind of created on campus and evolved over the years. So we do a lot of department orders. It makes up a big percentage of our total sales, kind of in clothing and general merchandise. It's a lot of stuff that we don't stock in the store. So that's kind of where we focused a lot of our departmental relationships, really just kind of grow those and have it mutual beneficial, where we're giving them really good prices, competitive prices on the product that they want for their departments and their conferences, their events. And then we're getting some exposure to them and their students as well. So I'll just pull up my PowerPoint as well. Hopefully I can get it to launch.
How can I help, Adam?
I think you guys can see it now. Hey, that's okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nope.
Nothing's come through here. There, hey.
Nope.
Okay.
So just to walk you through the process, present now in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, it's
And then- Probably the easiest one is it on the entire screen, and then just throw your presentation up full slide. I know you'll miss all our beautiful faces, but
there we go. We'll do this. Is that coming through now?
yeah, we're good to go. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry there, guys. Yeah, so we've really we focused on kind of building those relationships with faculties and departments on campus. Student groups and clubs is a big one too. We work with some larger clubs, getting custom items brought in for them. Recruiting has been a solid partner for us over the years as well. A lot of the swag that they give away at events, they get through us, which is great. More recently, the registrar's office too, which I'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes. Active living, we've got a very large active living department. They run a lot of programs on campus. They run an outdoor center for outdoor programs and gear rentals. So that's kind of a relationship that's been a little bit rocky, but we've been working hard to kind of make that better and meet their needs. Orientation departments on campus too are a big one for us. So every year they order about 7,000 t-shirts from us that they utilize for their orientation events, as well as a lot of events for potential students that are deciding whether they want to come to the University of Calgary. So these have all kind of been key partners in us. And again, it accounts for about 25% of our sales kind of within clothing and GM. So it's been great to work and grow these relationships. So yeah, just kind of give you a snapshot of some of the business that we're doing in this category. So it's kind of what we call our promotional products business. So 2018-19, we did just over 320. Last year, some of these orders come kind of in cycles. With recruiting, they tend to place one large order for up to about $100,000 sometimes, but they maybe only do that every other year or every third year, kind of depending on what they have going on. And then this year, we were just able to kind of land an order with the registrar's office. So with remote learning happening and a lot of that student experience and programs not happening on campus, our registrar's office is ordering 7,000 crew sweaters and water bottles that will actually drop ship out to the students. So it's a large order and really kind of helped a very poor fiscal year for us. So we're very excited about this and working through the logistics of ordering, getting everything in, packaging everything up. It's basically like another rush, and staffing that to get everything sent out to students. So really the way that we've kind of grown this, when I started, someone was just kind of handling this business off the side of their desk, and we decided it was something that we were kind of underserving on campus, because we knew of a lot of departments that were taking this business off campus. They were either finding better products or better prices, and they were having a better experience with those companies that are aimed at serving this promotional products industry. So one of the first things we did was we became members of SAGE, PPPC, and PPAI. So some organizations that help us access better pricing within this industry. So we're able to offer very competitive pricing, as good or better than a lot of the promotional products companies in this industry. So it's really helped us be competitive and win back some of that business that was going off campus. Our university doesn't have a strong buy-in really to kind of that keeping it on campus, and just because we weren't offering the best service over the years, we did lose a lot of that business. But this has kind of really helped kind of regain those relationships and build back some of that trust with these groups. So if you don't have a large business of this custom orders, these department orders, I encourage you to take it serious and try to grow it. And if you guys have any questions or concerns about that, I'm happy to help out. I know McMaster is another university that they do a lot of this, and I've gotten a lot of great ideas from them to help grow this within our store.
Before you move on, Adam, we just have a couple of questions pertaining to the section you just covered. There is one, I'll start with, because there's two people asking about the SAGE. How much does it cost to join SAGE?
So SAGE, it's not very much. I think for the level of membership we have, which offers us a website with some of the potential product that customers can order, I think it's about $2,000 a year. So it's really not a lot of money. So then you get that promotional products website that you can advertise with. So you can build out catalogs, you can build out vendors that you work with. So we've got a direct link from our website, our main bookstore website, to this website where people can kind of browse some of the stuff that they can bring in. So yeah, I think it's about $2,000 a year, and I think that's kind of a mid-range membership. You can choose more options, like you can actually build out almost like a shop within your shop. So you could say, the Department of Science orders a lot from you. You could actually build out different products that they like to order regularly, and they can just order that right off that website. You can upload your digital proofs ahead of time. So it just makes that ordering process a little bit easier. So it really kind of just depends, what perks and benefits of that membership you want to access.
There are a few more questions relating to this, so hopefully we can kind of answer them now, and then we can move to the next section. And there's another question around how you're able to become a member, because sometimes there's requirements that prevents bookstores or other retailers from becoming a member. So do you, was it?
Yes. Yeah, so there was, prior to when I started, our university had tried to become members of PPPC, and there was a lot of pushback from the industry. They were really trying to keep university campus business out of that space. SAGE, when SAGE kind of got in the game, they kind of united everyone together. So we were able to kind of gain access to PPPC and PPAI through SAGE. So I'd really go that route. The only requirement that we really had to meet was to show that we do some off-campus business, and we do enough for organizations that are not actually run by the university. So some of the hospital foundations and stuff that we had partnered with, we were able to just show some orders from those, off-campus customers that I think we only had to show them two invoices basically from off-campus business, and then they allowed us to be a part of Sage. So it's really opened the door to a lot of new vendors that wouldn't work with us before. They wouldn't offer us that end column pricing or any pricing, any wholesale pricing. So through Sage, we've been able to gain that access.
And are you finding that the savings are significant compared to what you were being able to have before?
Yeah, the savings are significant. It definitely adds up. We're getting better pricing. So we're either making, more margin, which, at the end of the day, if the bookstore makes money, it goes back to campus anyways. So we're still trying to be very competitive within that promotional product space. If we see other quotes from local companies, we'll meet it or beat it. So we are finding we're getting more margin, and then we're also able to bring that down that cost to the customer.
And then with the last question, I think pertaining to this topic was, does the customer see the pricing, or you kind of set the prices that they would pay you? Yeah,
we set the prices. They would never see our wholesale. It's something we try to keep hush hush, just because we are still giving them a good deal. One thing at our university too, I know not all universities have this, but all of our freight is covered by central operating. So we're actually able to be a little bit more competitive than some local companies, because typically they're always charging for shipping of that product to wherever the company's based out of, and then to the customer. So we're actually able to save them further money by not charging them freight for delivery.
That's great. Would you like to continue, unless you have any other?
I don't have too much else, but by all means, if there's other questions, feel free to reach out to me.
There was one about the drop shipping, but we can come back to that at the end as well.
Yeah, for sure. So last thing I'll kind of mention is just some new opportunities that we've been working on. So we're just started our first pre-sale product. We're working with a club on campus. So this is something we've been kind of thinking about for a little while, and we've seen other kind of boutique clothing retailers offer it. It's a great way to minimize overhead and try a product without actually producing it. So we kind of leveraged our website to do this. It wasn't super straightforward, but we figured it out. And what this allows us to do by doing a pre-sale, we have a lot of clubs contact us. They want to get 20 hoodies, 30 hoodies with their logo on it or their design on it. And the organizer of that group has to take on a lot of responsibility, not only to take payment from each of those individuals and gather size information and colors. It's a lot of work. So we wanted to make it a lot easier for those department orders to happen and for them to happen through the bookstore. So this kind of removes a lot of those challenges associated with those club orders. The customer can pay individually right on our website, which is great. And then they can also choose shipping or in-store pickup. So right now we are charging flat rate shipping fees on all orders. We've been doing promotions where, certain times if you spend them out, you get free shipping, but generally we are charging for that shipping. So if someone is out of country or they're out of province, they can choose that shipping option right through our website, or if they're in the city, they can choose in-store pickup. So it makes giving out these orders for these groups a lot easier. It takes a lot of stress off their plates. So we've had good response so far. Obviously we've done this one. It's actually going right now till the 31st, but it's an area we see a lot of growth opportunity, and we're excited to kind of see how it goes.
We do have a question about the pre-sale. Do you have to hit a minimum threshold with the vendor that you're working with?
Yeah, so for all kind of our in-store minimum is we will do a custom order for you if you want at least 12 items. The pricing might not be great at 12 items, but we will do an order for a minimum of 12. So the key part with these orders is kind of still having that organizer who you're going to work out all the details with. And we've kind of made it very clear to them, like, we need to hit those minimums or else we'll have to cancel the order. So with this one, what we kind of agreed on and what our pricing is based off of is 20 hoodies. This option too, they can actually have an additional the year basically embroidered on the sleeve. So it gives them some options too, if some people want to pay a little bit more for customization or not. But if we weren't able to get that 20 that we've set, we would either have to look at adjusting the price potentially, or canceling the order. So, we really only try to take on orders that are a sure thing to hit those minimums.
And one other question, which POS or which one do you use to run your website?
We're on Prism, Nebraska, Prism RBS. So yeah, if you guys have questions, if you're a school that uses Prism RBS, we can let you know how we've set this up as well.
Awesome.
Join the Prism group.
Plug for the group.
So that's it for me. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. So Kristel, when you joined Redeemer, what was your priority when approaching campus partnerships?
So I am an alum of Redeemer. I graduated a while ago. It's fine, a while ago. And then I was the president of the Alumni Association for a while, and then took this role on in August. And so the thing with Redeemer is that we did a huge rebrand. We were able to drop the college off of our name. So now we're just Redeemer University. And so that allowed us to do a whole rebrand, which is really, really exciting. But the issue with that is that sort of marketing was over here and athletics was over here, and Bookstore was kind of just in the ether over here by ourselves, kind of doing our own thing without any guidelines, without any sort of structure to what we could purchase, what we couldn't purchase. So first of all, the rebrand allowed us to get some structure to what we offer in the store, but then also really opened the doors for us to particularly work with marketing to make sure that we are representing the brand well, to not only our students, but also our wider community. We're part of, we're a Christian university, so we're part of quite a large Christian community. And we have a lot of reach through various denominations that way. So that was really my goal, was to really be able to work closely with marketing, but also there's been this sort of tenuous relationship between us and our athletes for so long, since I was here in the 2000s. We're still in the 2000s, it's fine. And athletes come in and they are the most important in their own minds, and therefore they're the most important on campus. And athletics was able to get a relationship and a partnership with Nike. And so athletics was then able to the athletes were able to walk around campus with Nike hoodies and Nike zip-ups and track pants and all this beautiful merch. And then they would sort of order a couple pieces. And then if you were friends with the athletics department, you could, get a sweet hoodie on the side for cost, but only if you were friends with them. And so that was one of my first goals when I started the role in August was, yeah, guys, that's got to stop. So we want a one-stop shop. We want to be an inclusive community where everyone's a Redeemer Royal, whether you shoot hoops or not. And so I worked very closely with the head of marketing of the athletics department to just say, okay, we're going to stop this sort of us and them, and we're going to broaden our reach of who can carry this or who can wear this stuff. So I then took on the partnership. I then worked with their person at Nike or their subsidiary. And then I also then worked with the marketing department of athletics to say, okay, yes, athletes are important. Yes, they want to feel still important. Let's give them their own 3 hoodies, 2 zip-ups, and a pair of track pants. And let's still have a Nike hoodie, a Nike long sleeve, et cetera, and champion for everybody else. But we're all still having the opportunity to wear Royals branded stuff. So that was really my goal, to really connect everyone at Redeemer so that we can all be a Royal, we can all wear the same kind of stuff, and to really make the bookstore the hub of where you can get everything. I'm going to kind of piggyback on Adam's a little bit, where, admissions would get their t-shirts for all of campus somewhere, and they would show up on a skid, and I watched that skid roll by my store and I'm like, that's a potential opportunity for us. So let's, divert that back to us. I do have a bit of a presentation. It's not quite as fancy as everybody else's, but we're going to try. And thanks to Adam and Peter for doing the first two. Let's go entire screen. And let's go from the beginning. Did that work?
I don't see it, but.
Oh, maybe I didn't do it right. Oh, guys. Oh,
It's
I didn't.
okay.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Did that work?
Yeah, it did.
Yay!
Oh, good.
Not bad. So again, it's not quite as professional as the other guys, but so now we carry Champion and athletics does not carry Champion. So that's another sort of avenue for a lower price point for our brand, but also come get your Royal stuff here. We've also worked with athletics, obviously not this year, but next year to work with them. Again, we're a small school, so we have basketball running once and then we have volleyball. And so we're going to become sort of the fan hub. Like we're going to be open an hour before the home openers, and we go into tournaments and stuff like that. We're going to be open, get your fan stuff here, get all your Nike Champion stuff here so that you're not getting it off the back of a truck in the athletics department. Again, just some of the few products we brought in so far. We kind of wanted to do a limited run first, and before I even received all the hoodies, I had already sold over half of them. So word is already getting around and there's nobody on campus. So, and then this is, again, I'm going to piggyback off Adam's. We partnered with the registrars and the alumni department this past year because we didn't obviously have an in-person graduation. We provided a graduation in a box. And so we partnered with alumni, we partnered with the registrar so that each student got shipped out a box with a program, their hat, a tassel, and then we partnered with a local company downtown Hamilton, where we are, to do a leather key fob and then the mug. So we were then able to leverage our relationships, and then now alumni and the registrar's department know that they can come to us, we'll get them a good deal, we'll get them branded stuff, but don't go to other places. Again, it's, more money in our pocket as the bookstore. And then just a couple things I just wanted so I came to athletics not saying, okay, we want to take your business, but here's why we want to do it. Here's my idea. How are we going to work together? How are you going to promote that the bookstore has the stuff? How are we going to promote that we're all Royals, that sort of thing. So, and we then made a very clear plan with athletics, particularly about what is the stuff that athletes are going to get versus what are the stuff that the general fans are going to get. So those are it's very, very short compared to everybody else, but we're going to stop sharing. But
That's awesome. I have a couple more general questions for the panelists to kind of get us talking, because although they focused on certain areas, there's definitely a lot more to talk about what's been happening on our campuses. So I'll just double check if there's any questions. I don't see any. And Steve, is the poll closed now? Okay, perfect. So we'll revisit that. So I guess I'll open it up. I'm curious, how are some ways you've engaged campus stakeholders outside of email? Who would like to go first?
I can go. So we were in a really unique situation in the fall, is that we were in person. We had students on campus. We had departments on campus. We were kind of one of the only schools, one of the only schools that did that. So I was able to, kind of book a meeting with the marketing director of athletics and just kind of have a socially distant couch meeting in the lobby. And so that's sort of how we did that. And then following up with email and following up with, hey, this is the design of the hoodie I want to get. What do you think? That sort of thing. So that's a unique situation compared to other schools, I think.
Yeah, for us, Zoom's been a big way of life for a while now. So we regularly meet with all of our kind of key stakeholders, alumni, athletics, and from the start, it's always been, how can we help each other through this? Is there something we can assist you with? Is there something you can assist us with? And so we've had some good conversations that have come out of that. A lot of our social media channels seem to be more engaged in our content, which is great too. So there's more sharing, more liking, because we have so many social media groups on campus. We probably have about 15, 20 different channels. So it's nice to have that shared response. So that's definitely helped.
Yeah, and I would, similar to Adam too, we really rely on Zoom for a lot of our meetings, social media push outs. It would be great to meet in person with people, but our campus has been closed. So I really prefer the face-to-face, but we have to kind of forgo that in these times. So, but yeah, it's really a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of follow-ups, and some extent email, although I find the Zoom meetings work really well.
Awesome. I am also curious, you guys have presented a lot of ideas, but then which groups on campus or in your community, because there's some also engaging the community, would you want to pursue next? I know we have a lot of what's on your mind of like, what's the next steps?
There's
I know there's a lot there.
I'll speak up on this one. Just initially, when I was talking about Venture Connection, they're actually associated with our business school, the BD School of Business. We've been building momentum with relationships with them. They're such a large faculty they sort of encompass all three campuses, and with custom orders and things, they've been really amazing for us. So we've been really pushing to build stronger relationships with them. I find that they understand the brand identity very well. So them to have their own products and their own custom made has been really great. So we've really tapped into that. Athletics as well, as you guys have mentioned too, with very good community to reach out to for sure. So those two, we've had relationships on them, but we've been working on strengthening them and broadening our relationships.
Yeah, I could echo that too from Peter. We have a very good business school on campus, and the fact that they don't use some of their knowledge and experience to help a retail business, it's something that we've been wanting to grow for a little while. So we definitely have some work to do to grow that. Another big opportunity since I've started here, I've been wanting to do, and I'm hoping this will be the year we can do it, is create a bit of a clothing line made by students. So have some designs submitted and maybe some voting taking place. Graphic t-shirts continue to be very popular just in the normal clothing retail space. So kind of utilizing student designs, maybe even working out some sort of a commission. That's kind of an idea we've been thinking about. And the longer we're in this digital space, I think it's actually a really good opportunity for people to maybe submit some stuff to us, have voting take place online, and use this new pre-sale function too. It's even a way we could start some of these designs without having a lot of overhead if we do a pre-sale. So
I'm going to come at it from a small school perspective. Again, our bookstore has had some tenuous relationships with a lot of departments in the past, just really challenging personalities. I think I'll just leave it at that. So a big role that I would like to, because I'm a people pleaser, so I just want to make everybody happy all the time. So I'm reaching out to a lot of our faculty who have had a lot of challenges getting their books here, getting them in on time, et cetera, et cetera. So working with faculty to, hey, what are 10 titles that you recommend that I have in here, so that, if a student comes up to you after class, say, oh, I want to learn more about Václav Havel, great, Kristel in the bookstore has these 3 titles, things like that. But also, again, still reeling from this social media presentation a little while ago, we're doing a Faculty of the Month club. And it's not a calendar. It's, what are you reading for your courses? What are you reading for personal development? And what are you reading for fun? Bringing those books in, having them kind of give a blurb about why they're reading that, and then having the books in so that students can then buy them. Again, it's providing a connection, a further connection. One of our kind of pillars at Redeemer is our connection between faculty and students. So, further strengthening those relationships through that sort of thing, and allowing students to get to know faculty that way. So that's sort of in the works right now. We're doing an overhaul of our entire store right now. So, but really developing those relationships with faculty so that they know that, yes, I recommend this book. Now they don't have to go to Amazon. They can go down the stairs and come see us in the bookstore right away.
Those are some great pursuits to think about too, of when, in the after time when people are allowed back on campus. So I guess for the last 15 minutes of our time together, before we take a break, I wanted to circle back to the poll that we did. And so it looks like for those of you who've answered that the winner was, who is your top campus partner? It would be faculty and departments. So I'll open it up if you want to raise your hand and maybe share your experiences on your campuses, because we want this to be, not just this is the be all and end all. We want to hear from stores and what you're doing that you'd want to celebrate the wins that you've had as well. So either put your, if you're don't have a mic, you can put your comment in the chat, or would like to raise your hand and let us know what you've been doing that has worked well for you. Yes, this is the audience participation portion of the presentation. Don't make me pick on you guys.
Yeah, so I'll speak up. This is Louisa from UBC, and for us, so I was one of the ones who voted for faculties and departments, and it's really kind of more the theme of what you've heard, especially from Adam, but our custom imprint business has really been carried by those good partnerships that we have with our departments on campus, and we work really hard to provide the best service we possibly can, and from that, business spreads from word of mouth. So in addition to doing something similar like they do at Calgary with the pre-sale hoodies, we also have our one-off purchase hoodies that you can do with putting in your own faculty or department personalization on sweaters. And then from that, we've actually had a lot of buy-in from departments wanting to have their own custom clothing stores housed within our store sites. So Faculty of Medicine, Kinesiology School, Alumni Department, these are all established programs on our site now. And from that, we've gotten just recently, dentistry and our BC Women and Children's Hospital, they've all contacted us because they want to do the same. So I think as you really build those programs and service those departments, then that word spreads, because people then are saying, oh, we want that for us too.
Awesome, thank you. In the comments, Sonia commented, we've done pre-sales for departments or faculty specific merchandise, which has done well for us too. I'm sorry, I do not know the institution, but that's good to hear that it is happening in different areas of our membership. Loda, did you want to go next?
Yeah, Sonia is from UFT. So she's, so what we're actually working on the pre-sale, and the luxury that we have, that we do small runs because we produce it ourselves in a building. So if somebody will want to do a 4, we would prefer the 12. I think, Adam, that's a great number. We would love to have orders of 12 or above, so totally agree with you. But that's been something that we want to promote even more, and do also that you can put your name on it. Like when we got the new president in one of our campuses, we actually embroidered his name to the rugby shirt that I gifted him and said, by the way, you can do this for anybody who would like. I think that our partnership are a little bit different because we have lots of them, but this year we have really focused on the softer partnerships because there's a lot of talk about mental health, and that's what we've really been trying to kind of support people in that. But yeah, and we have a lot of, our medical schools are huge. I just had an email that somebody wants to pay a huge amount of money before the end of the month. I'm like, yes, please. Do I need that? I think we all need that right now. But we have, because I have medical department that works separately with their partners, and then we have a GM team and a campus outfitter team that work separately. So it's a bit of a spread. But what I would say, as a word of warning, if you know what you're doing, it's easy. And if you don't know what you're doing, it will suck a lot of energy from you. Like Peter's products, I love them. We're gonna look at them. I'm sorry, Sonia, because what we try to do, we actually try to do local products for this Christmas, and then obviously we weren't able to be open. But I think that these little projects that don't make you so much money can take a lot of time. That's what we learned. We're working with the university this year because it's 100 or 150 years for insulin, and that comes from U of T. And that's going to make us money because the university is behind it. But something else that we've done, like library collections for library, and the total sales is $10,000, but it's taken us, I don't even know how many hours to produce it and source it and things. So I would just say, be mindful when you source these things and be kind to your partners, that it actually is time. Don't look at just the dollars that you make, but look at the time that it makes you to get there. That would be my only advice. And I'm sure that Sonia is, Sonia's saying that the candles caught her eye as well. So Peter will. So anyway, I'm just saying that would be my advice, that don't think that this is not easy money. It's money that you do with hard work and dedication, as all these people have shown. So good for you guys for doing that.
And I think it echoes back to the opening keynote as well, as we want to show the value on campus. So it isn't just the transaction piece, that we're building the relationships and the partnerships as well, which is, how we can make ourselves indispensable. So hopefully that's another way to get us thinking about connecting with different people. And yeah, yes, we would like to make money, but sometimes you have to do the loss leader, right?
Yeah, to echo Lotta's point too, when we decided we wanted to do this promo product stuff well, we had a position in store that we were rehiring, and we actually rechanged that whole job description to focus on promotional products. And then we actually hired someone with 10 years experience in the industry. So it helped us bring our professionalism up so that we could do it well. So that's been a really key part about growing this business for us. So.
I'll let, does anyone just have any questions for our presenters that we didn't have a chance to ask, or that's been coming up? It's okay if you please put them in the Q&A and we'll go through them. Or if you want to raise your hand, I guess, if you're comfortable speaking. So I'm not sure if I should wait for another couple minutes if you guys want to. Okay, here we go. I guess this question's for Peter. What is the amount of sales generated from your marketplace initiative?
It has fluctuated, and I think, to speak to Lotta's point too, you do have to consider the amount of work that is, and this has taken us a few years of sort of working it to perfect it. Off my head, a dollar amount. It's like I say, we've on some of the successful ones, we've had a great return on it. Like the mala candles have been great for us. We have departments that buy 25 of them, and they're not cheap. They're in the $20 range. They're not an inexpensive candle, but they seem to just be really popular as a non-branded gift for departments. So not really answering your question as far as a dollar amount. It's not, we do specific items we've done really well with. Some we've had duds. So it's been a learning process. And sometimes we just feel that the investment in this initiative is just great PR for us, and demonstrating that we are reaching out to the wider campus and that we are here supporting, on student entrepreneurs and being able to sort of tangibly to sort of display it in our store.
Thanks, Peter. I have another question. I'll probably open up to the group because I don't think unless our presenters want to tackle it. Do you have any internal print services on campus? And if yes, do you engage the service before looking for external print providers or image on product, direct to garment, promotional products, etc.? So I know with schools I worked with that ancillary services encapsulated print services, but some schools might be set up differently. Does anyone want to comment about that?
So for all paper print services, we do have a campus printer. It's not run by the university. It's been run by a private company. In store for promotional products, we at one point had a t-shirt printer. Direct to garment didn't work great, really poor quality. So we got rid of it. We have a laser engraving machine in store, so we will do some of that. For small orders, we also have heat presses, so we can do heat press on t-shirts, on items for small order volumes as well. But when we're targeting those larger orders, we'll typically send it to a local partner that we have for decoration. And other methods like screen print, they're just a lot more durable than what we can offer. I know Lotta does a lot of everything though, so they can speak to that probably a little bit more.
It's not actually me, it's my team. It's my fantastic team. So I cannot take any credit for that. I was just texting Sonia, I said, speak up, because she actually works up with this a lot better. I think that our thing has been that we have wanted to serve the other universities as well. And it's a little bit the same thing as, and I know it sounds really mushy, so please excuse me for that, but we are the big university. We know that. We are huge. There's no doubt about it. We have over 90,000 students. We have over 30,000 staff. U of T has donations coming out of, everywhere. So And I think that as a big university, so one of the things that we can do to help other universities is to sell the smaller quantities, because we don't have to sell. We don't want to have all your business. We don't need to have all your business because we can sell it ourselves. But if we can help you with your faculty orders that are 20, 40, something like that, we'll be happy to do that. And we're not going to charge you more for that. It's a small order. So I think that's been kind of I know that we got into this business a little bit differently, but that's been my ethos in this, that as a big partner, we want to help the other university stores to do as well. Sonia and Caitlin work really hard to be very fair on the pricing as well. So, and we're not promising you anything we can't deliver. So that's the other thing as well, that it's easy to say, get carried away and say, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And suddenly we go like, actually, we can't. So like we have a whole team. We have a production team, and we have Caitlin that works full-time as a sales manager, and then we have Sonia that helps. So it's a big effort to do this. But we have a whole new printer, which does great quality. We have the embroidery machines. We don't do laser because I'm scared of laser, because from my Tiffany background, I'm not having anybody doing any laser carving because I can see what's going to happen. We're going to burn down a building. So good for you, Adam, for being afraid to do that. But I think that you need to have scale in order to do it in-house, and that's what we have, because then we can just put our own orders and our faculty orders. They are large enough for that as well. And like I said, I know it sounds really mushy, but we want to be part of helping the community.
Awesome. Well, it's now 11, so I don't want to keep you guys much longer because we only have a half an hour break until the next session. So I would suggest that we can continue this in our group chat if anyone has other questions that come up. So this concludes the second session of the day. I want to thank Peter, Adam, and Kristel for sharing their experiences with us. I hope everybody was inspired and got some ideas. On behalf of all speakers at this year's conference, CSU will be making a $500 donation to a charity chosen by the board of directors. And thank you once again very much for participating in this session and on the panel. We have one more session lined up. It's going to start at 2:30 Eastern Time 3:30 Atlantic, 1:30 Central, 12:30 Mountain, 11:30 Pacific, and it's called Turning Your Inventory into Cash. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes. Thanks so much.